Yes, you just did one. That will be all. Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
No, seriously. My real question is, do you remember what your reaction was when you were approached with the news that you were getting a spin-off from Animaniacs as just Pinky and the Brain?
Oh, thrilled.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I remember, Peter Hastings was the one who sort of told us that it's looking like we're going to make this its own show. We had done the first half-hour episode as part of Animaniacs. It took up the whole Animaniacs half hour. Was
Win Big?
No, the one that took place in medieval England.
Oh, was that when it? Oh, my dragon!
Yes. I can't remember the name of the episode, but I remember saying to Peter, I said, "Wow, this is like an entire Animaniacs episode." And he goes, "Yeah, it's kind of a test case. Just say, just keep good thoughts." And that ended up being the sort of an unofficial pilot, and it became its own show. So I was we were just thrilled. And then when it turned out that it was going to be primetime, and the lead-in show on the new Sunday night on the WB network, its first primetime show on only its second night. We thought, we simultaneously, I felt that well, that's a lot of responsibility for a cartoon show against
60 minutes.
A juggernaut, a champion for 30 years in that slot. But on the other hand, you kind of went, wow, it
was great.
We're the...
It was really cool that the network had the confidence in that show. Certainly doesn't help having Mr. Spielberg's name above the title card, but it was a great show. I mean, the proof is in the pudding here.
I'm very proud of those half hours, those primetime half hours. The animation's a little more lush, which I drew every cell myself. Tremendous team on the show, of course, but I mean the animation is a little more precise and textured, and the writing was a little more adult. I think we even had a dam in there. I think Brain said...
No shit.
I believe so. Fucking right, Pinky.
Yeah. Can I just tell you, and one of the things that we get more than anything is people just love to hear Pinky and the Brain swear. I don't know what
Except for the Christians.
Yeah.
Yes. So there we go. We must respect them.
All right.
So yeah, we were just thrilled. It was a tremendous thing.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Good afternoon, future overlords. I wish to go...
When we take over, you shall get a very important job. You know how to suck up to a world leader.
Unfortunately, I will have to risk that because I wish to go from one spin-off to another. I wish to know who decided that Elmira was to join you. And Pinky, if you or Brain do not give a good answer, Brain shall have to hurt you.
Oh dear.
Well, actually, it was Pinky's idea. He said, we need somebody stupider than me on the show. I don't know where that came from. It was an interesting experiment, but I think it had the net effect of, I said it jokingly, but it nullified the Pinky. Pinky was now not the catalyst for all the tension. We had a stupider character than Pinky and a more annoying character than Pinky, which put Pinky in the position of being Larry Fine.
Yeah.
He was suddenly the Larry. He was, say, hey, leave the kid alone.
Hey, leave the kid alone. Yeah. The Pinky and Larry.
And it ended up being, Pinky and the Brain and Larry. If I could just backtrack, I don't know how many of you remember that episode where there was this third mouse added. And it was Billy West. It was actually the first thing that he had done since Ren and Stimpy out in Los Angeles when he moved out. And he does the best Larry Fine impression in the world.
Fantastic.
And I think it was Gordon? I think it was Gordon and Charlie who wrote that episode. Gordon Bressack and Charlie Howell wrote this episode as almost a protest message to the network because they were bandying about the idea of making it the primetime show, but one of the things the network was saying, and I know I'm telling tales out of school, but whatever, one of the things that we're saying was, well, we need to fill out the cast. There needs to be more than Pinky and the Brain. We need to give them families. We need to give them like other mice that they can talk to. We can't just have a primetime show. It's got to be more like The Simpsons, where there's a whole family event and a town, and so their position was, no, you don't need to do anything to Pinky and the Brain, but just let them be Pinky and the Brain. That's what makes the show. Their banter and their relationship. So it was almost like, here's what will happen if you add somebody. So they added Larry Fine, or the Larry Mouse. So very well, it was fun, it was fine, it was funny. We go on to do Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain, and it actually ended up being that. And that kind of, mixed up the chemistry of Pinky and the Brain, I thought.
Yeah. Well, and like everything else, it's supposed to be a corporate decision. People, it's called show business for a reason, and I presume somebody thought that it was a way to squeeze a little more life out of the characters, whatever. I don't know. I know that Cree Summer, who is Elmira, is a wonderful actress.
Yeah, nothing against Cree.
Yeah.
She was terrific, and Elmira was a great character on Tiny Toons.
Tiny Toons, yeah. And I adore her. She is really a gifted and an amazing singer. But yeah, I mean, it was not I didn't think it was a great idea. Certainly, I don't feel like I was in the position, either professionally or personally, because the character is very personal to me. I would not be in a position to say, I'm not going to do a show. I mean, people, it's kind of interesting how folks say, when you do this show, how come you didn't do this character, or why don't you should be on the Tonight Show. Why don't you get on the Tonight Show? It just doesn't work where you call up and say, my fans have decided that I should be on the Tonight Show. Or call up Mr. Spielberg and say, the character you have me, this isn't going to work, so I'll do the other one, but I'm just not going to do this one.
There you go.
It just doesn't work that way. I'm flattered that people think I have that kind of juice, but I don't.
See, the funny part was the show was tremendous fun to make.
Yeah.
We love Cree, and we got Tim Curry was added to the cast, and Andrea Martin from Second City.
Yeah.
So we really and oh my gosh, from the Go-Go's, Jane.
Oh, Jane Wheatland.
Jane Wheatland.
Yeah.
Jane Wheatland was added to the cast. So we had this. Suddenly the room was fuller than it had been when it was just high. So we had to hold in our gas. But we were we had great fun making the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.